This is the show that gives you a daily dose of happy, uplifting, feel-good stories from around the world. Welcome to another episode of Wonderlous News. I'm Hoyt Christopher. Let's get right to it. All right, our first segment is former Roadside Zoo chimpanzees share heartwarming reunion hug in new sanctuary home. All right, this is pretty cool. So these 4 chimpanzees were rescued from a roadside zoo and were seen sharing a loving embrace as they all set foot into a brand new sanctuary. That's right. So they were found in a roadside zoo in Ohio, really bad conditions. A lot of different people that went to visit the zoo, were calling animal control and saying, look, these facilities are bad. These people are not treating these animals well. So they were pulled out of there, and now they're in a temporary place. And so when they went to this little sanctuary, they were hugging each other. Like the 4 of them were like, we got saved, and they were hugging, they were cleaning each other, doing the whole thing, picking, the bugs out of their hair and eating whatever, the chimpanzees do. But they're super loving and appreciative of being in this new place and being rescued from that roadside zoo. And now they're going to be on their way soon. They're in like they got them in quarantine for a few weeks to make sure there's no, illnesses or diseases that would spread to the other animals at the sanctuary. But they're getting ready to go to the sanctuary's 12 chimp islands that in total span 150 acres. Is that crazy or what? So look, I'm sure they'd rather be free running around the wild, but 150 acres, that's pretty free. And they've got some good humans that are looking out for them. And they got quarantined for a couple months, and then they're off to that 150 acre, 12 island sanctuary. That sounds pretty cool. Better than that Ohio roadside zoo that they got, taken from. All right, great story. So our next story is spring rainstorms trigger massive Superbloom in California desert, and it's visible by space. So I live in California here. So this year, just massive rain, right? We've heard about this. If you're in California, outside of California, you're probably laughing if you're outside of California, because rain in California is just, it's not common enough, right? We're always in a drought. We're not in a drought now, I bet. But what we do have is we have these seeds. So what happens is when it's really dry, all these mature adult flowers and plants spit out these seeds. But if it's too dry, the seeds don't germinate and they don't grow new flowers. They'll sit. These seeds will sit for years. Like they don't just die, or they don't have to be planted or germinated with water within like a certain period of 6 to 12 months. Like they can go on for a long time, sitting in the ground, sitting in the bushes, whatever. So all the rain got them activated, and now there's this massive, beautiful, beautiful array of colorful flowers, purple and orange and yellow. And it's so big that from the space station up in outer space, they were able to take pictures, and you can see this, in the deserts of California, what is a massive superbloom. Really cool to check out. I encourage you to check out that. The link to the story is actually in the description of the show, so feel free to do that. But, and we love the rain here, and it's always good when it brings some magic like that with some cool flowers. So, all right, it's time for our Wonderless moment of the day, brought to you by Rise by Shaman Angelina. And she has this amazing store on Etsy with handmade necklaces and bracelets and earrings. Check out her stuff. But right now it's the time for the moment of the day to relax, listen to the music that she picked for us and the picture, if you can see it, and take these 10 seconds to have that reset moment here on the show. Wow. Love that. I love that. One of my favorite parts of this show is having that moment to listen to that music and see those visuals. It brings me back. So thank you, Rise by Shaman Angelina. Check out her store on Etsy, and also you can find the link to that store in the description of the show. So our next segment is Utah and California's unprecedented snowpack will definitely alleviate the droughts. Yep, you heard it right here. You heard it first. Maybe not first, but you heard it here on Wonderlous News. All of that rain here in California and Utah, what it means, what experts are saying is, don't worry, the drought for this year, now for the rest of the year, is over. So welcome to a nice summer where, still be conscious of our water consumption, but it's not an emergency. Little extra snowpack is going to provide us with much more water for over the course of the rest of the year. I don't know if it's going to be super hot this summer in different parts of California or Utah. I don't know if that's the degree. If it's really rainy, it's really hot. But no drought means we got some time. In fact, they said we could have a it says getting rid of the drought in Utah and California was big. And it was like a 3-year drought is what they were saying. So love that. It's a positive story for all of us in California and Utah. If you're somewhere else where rain's not an issue, maybe it's not that much of a, highlighted story. So listen, it's time for our Wonderless thought, which we're going to talk just briefly about water conservation, because now for the first time in California and Utah in many years, we don't have to really worry about our water consumption as much, but I would still recommend that we're mindful of it. You're not running the water all the time, not going out to plant massive, fields of green grass when you didn't have it before. I think we all have had to adjust to the fluctuations in rain in California and I guess Utah as well. But conserving water, I would even go as far as to say that the thought would expand, not just personally conserving water, right? What we do at home, how long our showers are, like I mentioned, the grass, are we watering our lawns and so forth, but then also think about where are we storing all this water, right? It's becoming more and more of a topic, especially in California, of when we get the rain, where are we catching the rain? Where is it going? Because a lot of the rain ends up running off, as we know, into the ocean. Being this close along the Pacific Ocean, a lot of our aqueducts run off and spill back out into the ocean. Shouldn't we be catching more of that water, containing it, storing it to reuse and to have available throughout the year and continue to catch it and use that? And I'd say yes. I mean, we need to figure this out. Before it spills out in the ocean, grab it and put it somewhere else. Put it in tanks, put it in containers, divert it to another area. I don't know. I don't have those answers, but something to think about, right? We always need to be mindful of our water conservation. And I've heard some of the futuristic horror stories, or what we believe could happen, which is we could begin when we've had wars of oil, we could end up having wars of water. And that, to me, is a little bit frightening. So conserve our water. Let's figure out how to do it on our own, individually as a family, or individuals, in the community and beyond. All right. So listen, if you have a positive feel-good story that you want to talk about, or you want me to talk about, tell me about it. Send me an email, wonderlessnews@gmail.com. I would love to talk about it here on the show. If you like the show and you're having fun, like us, follow us, subscribe to us. We're on YouTube at Wonderless News. That's the handle. We're also 11 different platforms as a podcast. So you've got many ways to get the Wonderless News into your life. I appreciate all the feedback and all the thumbs up I've gotten. In the meantime, thanks again for watching and listening. I'm Hoyt Christopher, and we'll see you tomorrow.